Morning. Now we continue the last section related to verbal patterns. How did you understand class number 10? Was it easy? In continuation of class number 10, we have some more areas to be covered, as I pointed out earlier. And how do you prepare for your exam? Are you okay? All these areas will be coming for your exam. You have to be thorough with whatever question is coming. You should be bold enough to answer it. Are you okay? For example, one boy last Sunday who came across. Prime Minister directly called him a Kerala boy. You know what is his name? His name is Vinayak. Oh, this Vinayak, I would wonder. He came the first in CBSE exam, commerce stream, in plus 2 level. He belongs to Trivandrum, I think. And during the time of Man Ki Baat, Prime Minister directly called this boy and asked his whereabouts. And what a wonder that he would be astonished enough when he was sitting in the house, directly Prime Minister of India calling. Then what did he ask? How do you, prefer in future to study? What subject do you prefer? And what did Vinayak say? I don't know how many Vinayak will be sitting among you later to answer questions prepared by Prime Minister. Vinayak said he wants to do commerce, BCom course, and later he wants to do IAS. Look, his ambition, as all other people, I would recommend all of you also prepare for IAS and IPS. Becoming engineer, teacher, professor is quite common, but to be an administrative officer, and our Vinayak, rank holder in commerce stream in plus 2, wants to be an IAS officer. And even Prime Minister asked him, why can't you come to Delhi and study IAS? Sometime he will get such an opportunity, because it is Prime Minister of India takes this case. So what Vinayak explained to the journalist, how he achieved this accomplishment, he told one thing. He, during this, particularly this pandemic time, he maintained a timetable for studies. May I ask you, how many of you follow timetable for study purpose now? You have plenty time in your house now. You are locked down in the house. Am I right? I would tell you, like Vinayak, everybody should prepare a timetable for your daily life. Like waking time, like morning breakfast, then study purpose. Almost 5 to 6 subjects you have to study. At least find 1 hour each. 1 hour each subject. Like 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock one subject. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock one subject. Then after 9 to 10, utilize 1 hour for breakfast and relaxation. Am I right? As if what Vinayak did. Vinayak has a timetable. It is published in the newspaper. So I would say the person who prefers a timetable to live, to attain a goal, will be successful. After 10 o'clock, you may enter to again study purpose 1 hour to 11, 11 to 12, then 12 to 1:30, you take lunch and relaxation time. Then again 2 o'clock to 3, 3 to 4, then 4 to 5 to 6, you make refreshment period. Like that, you keep a general timetable. Like that, if you go, you will get a sufficient ample time to prepare syllabus. But no one of you ready. So suppose you give 5 to 6 hours every day for study purpose, keeping each subject, for example, grammar and usage, 10 to 11 every day I will study. You decide yourself. Things will be under our control. But you people are not doing that. Neither parents force you, nor teachers give you like this timetable. But nobody gives. He is studying Jawahar Vidyalayam, Navodaya Vidyalayam. And his teachers might have given this timetable. He followed this as such. Especially during the pandemic time and he wrote exam. He became the winner. Like that you prepare. At least make use of 5 to 6 hours every day. Give equal weightage to all subjects. Then get all the materials written in the proper way. Okay, I hope everybody will do that. And you will be very successful in the coming exam. The small area that I left in the 10th class was related to IR system and RV system. IR system and it is known as IRV system or RV system. Alright, IRV system. It is related to the inflection of verbal items. We are doing nowadays verbal system in detail. We studied what is TRV system, what we studied INTRV system, what we studied VICP, how you will become VCP. Then different functions like non-finites, finites, infinites. Then what is called gerund, participle construction. All these related that we did in the previous class. Now you come to one more element which is kept aside that we could not teach you during the insufficient time in the last hour. What is called IRV system? It is, inflection as a particular topic not only related to verbal system, it is also related to the nominal system. We have different derivation forms like affixation process. You might have studied affixation process, right? What is meant by affixation process? Adding some prefixes and suffixes to the stem, you will get another form. Studied. All these areas related to the nominal systems. But when you come to the verbal system, same inflection process applied here. That you have to study. So after what is a verbal item, what definition goes, then what type of general classification, lexical type and auxiliary system, then after that different functions that you study, then you consciously enter to the field of IRV and RV system. So focus your concentration on IRV and RV system, which is very, very difficult area, but concentrate things will be easy. Are you okay? So it is related to the inflection system, IRV system. What is meant by IRV? So I will tell you. Suppose it is taken somewhat different what you have studied in the +2 level and in other sections of grammar. I refer to the university grammar. You refer page number 29 to 34. University grammar by Sidney and Cookbaum. A very big textbook. It is prescribed by University of Calicut for you. So you refer, I follow that area to teach this IRV and RV system, which may be somewhat new. You will get novel ideas. That is what we want to college education. And traditional grammar gone, structural grammar gone, then what you call phrase structural grammar gone, TG grammar gone, now pseudo grammar, suprasentential grammarians, particularly Kukuban, then what is called Sandut, again what is called your Raymond Murphy. All these are, they are standing for functional method of teaching grammar. So related to RV system, all these labels used by suprasentential people. What is called IRV? It is an area of inflection. Suppose you take one word, you prefer one word example, simple example, everybody prefer eat. Because I take this example, everybody is thinking about eating, right? And the people live for eating, right? Is it correct? So eat is a particular base word. Again, what did I say? Base word. In the nominal group also there will be a base word. How to identify a base word? It is very easy. How to identify base word? Base word, it cannot be broken further into two. Suppose you change into two, you will get sometimes you will get a word, but not that much meaningful. So if the word which stands fundamentally as a unit, that word is called base word. The nominal inflection related to nouns, that we will refer to what you studied, morpheme and all that. Stem, morpheme, stem, like root word, like. So with a reference to inflection related to verb, we call it base. No other word like root, stem, like that we call. We call only base. It is referred in the university grammar. Base word, base verb. This base verb they technically call V1. Please remember, what I teach you will be different from what you have already studied, or some teachers might have taught you. Somewhat different stages and differences will be happening because we are upgrading our knowledge. We are upgrading, slowly upgrading our knowledge. So, base word from today onwards, keep in mind that base word is known as V1, verb item number 1. Automatically, you will change this word, or what you call, you take eat, then add s, you will get to V2. Adding s to the fundamental base word is inflection. It is inflected. It is changed its shape. It is changed into another form. That process is known as inflection. So either on the position of inflection related to noun is possible, or in the level of verb item also possible. So keep it in the mind that verb inflection goes like that. From the base you jump to the second position, that adding s. Then automatically you will get adding ing, you will get to V3. Are you okay? So in addition to what you have accumulated in your brain, now V1, V2, V3 already over. What did you do for the inflection stage? You added s and you added ing. Again you go to another one that is totally different from the base. Base is eat. Spelling may be put in a different way. You got V4. Then again you take a base, add en, you will get to V5. Look here, how many inflections are happening. From the base word, add s first, ing, then totally different word you get here, then add en to the base, you will get to V5. Keep in mind, you might have studied in the school that this V1 is okay, and what you studied is V4 earlier, V2, then V5, V3. Now in modern English grammar, particularly in University English Grammar by Baum, you refer this page 29 to 35, you will get these are the inflected stages, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. In traditional grammar, we call this is bare infinitive, then you got inflect singular form, then present participle, past and past participle. In modern English and particularly university grammar book, no type of participle and no type of singular like. We call it V1. That means from today onwards, we refer V1 to V5. Alright, this is the first step. This process is called inflection related to verb. So you take another word, for example, you take a right base word, you get V1. Then you write here adding S, you will get rights V2. Alright, then you add ing, you will get V3. Here different word you get wrote V4. Then here you will get written V5. Look here. So from one base word to another word, you make an inflection, then go step by step in this way, you will get inflection. Another word you write here, look here, work. One example, this is base word V1, then you get works, then you get ing working, here you get with the work sa, base form, you add ed, then you once again you add ed. In this case, again, in communicative English grammar by Jeffrey Leach, instead of calling V4 and V5, he calls this is ED1, this is ED2. Same in certain grammar book, in communicative English grammar book, and also in university grammar book, V4 and V5, they are referring ED1 and ED2. And Kukubam says, also Michael Swen says, 95% verbal items are with ED1 and ED2. Means what? All the V4 will be ED1, all the verb items will be ED1, then ED2. So ED1 and ED1, 95% verbal items will be having ED1 and ED2. That is possible. So please keep in mind, V4 and V5 are the same. On the other side, ED1 and ED2 are the same. So once you refer to some grammar books and coming ED1 and ED2, never to be confused. That is V4 and V5. Past and past participle. ED1 is past. ED2 is past participle. V4 is past. V5 is past participle. Then next stage, you look. Then you look here. You take a V4 and V5. V4 and V5. When you get, please remember, when you get V4 and V5, different in spelling, different in pronunciation, they are called IRV system. That is called IRV. What is IRV system? How you can identify IRV? Irregular verbal system. How you find irregular verbal system? Simple. Identify the inflection of a verb. Then look, search whether 4 and 5 spelling different, pronunciation different. Then automatically it will be IRV group. IRV group. Example 8. Different in pronunciation and spelling eaten. So IRV system. Whereas wrote and written, look. Wrote and written, 4 and 5 different. Irregular system. Then what is called a regular system? RV system. RV system. That you have to keep in mind. Look here. In the first case, V1 to V5. Work, works, working, worked, worked. Then you get ED1 and ED2. Here the spelling, 4 and 5 same. Please remember, in early stage, in traditional grammarians preferred V1 and 4, 5 same. Regular system verbs. But in modern stage, in modern grammar, we people say, no need of taking V1. We take only 4 and 5. Then keep in mind, 4 and 5 same. In spelling, in pronunciation, they are called RV system. Then don't say like cut, 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 put like that. We consider only 4 and 5. So please keep in mind, when 4 and 5 are the same spelling, same pronunciation, they are called a regular verbal system, RV system. Then third stage, look here, all these are the references given in the university grammar book. The third stage, they say we have one concept, what is called strong and weak verbal items. All right, strong and weak verbal items. How do you find strong and weak verbal items? Very simple. But think that once anybody asking you to explain how strong and weak verbal items can be pointed out. Suppose you get 4 and 5. Okay, 4 and 5. Here written 4 and 5. You get ED and T. All right. You get 1, 4 and 5. With ending with ED, spelling ED or pronunciation D. What do you pronunciation? How do you write D? Then T. All right, T. You get D and T. Where? In 4 and 5. Once you get a verbal inflection with ending with the sound D and T, such verbal items will be weak. All right. Please keep in mind, this is a further information from higher secondary level. So how do you find weak verbal items? Once you do the process of inflection, check 4 and 5. Once you get 4 and 5, ending with the ED and T can be considered weak verbal items. All the words, example, you go to V5 without same, but you get EN here. Earlier we got D and T. Here EN coming. This one is weak. Why? Ending ED. This one EN. This one EN. Such words, verbal items are called strong. So, identify strong and weak verbal items from verbal inflection. Again, I repeat, check your 4 and 5. If 4 and 5 same with the D, ED and spelling ED, pronunciation D and T, you will get weak forms. Otherwise, all other inflected shapes will be strong. These are the related to IR and IRV and RV system. Now next your duty to find, I would recommend you to keep a chart on IRV and RV system. Then study yourself. For example, so many words you write. Example, arise. Then you find out V2 to V5. Like that you write any words that you get. Example, begin. You can copy down these words. Then come, you write. Then behold. All right, you take. All right, eat. You take one example. So like that you find at least 100 words by yourself. Minimum. In all the English dictionary you refer, you will get such a inflected shape given at least V1, 4, 5. Because V2 and V3 you can make. What method? Adding S, you will get V2. Add ing, you will get V3. Simple. So like that, if you want, you prepare at least 100 inflected shape, then you will get all the words. So I hope you understood what is called IRV system and RV system, irregular verbal system, how they are inflected, then came to RV system, then how to make a V1 to V5, then what is the regular verbal system, how do you find then irregular verbal system, then next stage weak and strong, everything now you studied. Okay, now you go to auxiliary system. What is the auxiliary system? This is the second phase of the verbal system. Am I right? Last introductory class to verbal system, we divided verb into generally two classification, right? First one, lexical verbal items. Second one, auxiliary verbal system. Am I right? That auxiliary verbal system we are going to take in detail. Alright, verbal system, same diagram, alright, same structure division, verbal system, which is one lexical, already taught you lexical, then you will get aux. This aux, again divided into two section, that is called pox, then mox. This area generally we took in, not in detail, but generally we took when we taught you different types of sentences. Do you remember? Once you get a declarative form, then you change into negative, then you change into interrogative. During the time of interrogative, you get a pox and a mox. These boxes can be taken to the front, you will make inversion. Do you remember? We taught you. But again, during the type of inflection related to verbal forms, we have to study aux in detail and their particular uses. This area particularly you refer University Grammar Book, page number, copy down, page number 35 to 37. Chapter number 3. It is given in very detail by Sydney Baum, Kuku people. University Grammar Book is authentic grammar book, like Michael Sam grammar book. It is very, very important. You refer page number 35 to 37. That is the area that they have given a structure. You copy down this one. Generally verbal system, lexical aux again divided to pox and mox. Pox means primary auxiliary system. Mox means model, MODAL, model auxiliary system. How these are generated according to Kikubaum, according to University Grammar Book. How they are upheld in this way. We take pox first. What is called primary aux? Then what is the difference between primary aux and mox? You know, primary aux is, first point, it is compulsory element in a VGP. What is meant by VGP? Already studied in the previous chapter. What is VGP? Group of words standing together, coming together on a verbal position. We'll take example, pox primary auxiliary, 3 divisions. First one, 3 division. Look here, we'll take how? First one is called do. Alright, second one is called have. Third one is called be. This is very, very, very important. Do, have, be. Means we have 3 poxes. What is called poxes? Poxes means primary auxiliary system. Basically, we have 3 primary auxiliary system, which are called, divided into do, have, be. This be further divided in this way. For, keep in mind, this one is called present. This one is called past. This one is called present, present, then past participle, then what is called present participle. This present is further divided to 2. What is called yes and P. S stands for singular, ekavajan. plural, Bahuvachan, all right, singular and plural. Past also in the way S and P. This is only one, this is only one. All right, how this verb be divided to look? Present, you will get S, which is popular, is and am. Very important. All right, then converted to this P, you will get singular and plural. All right, sorry, this area again confused. Present into past. We'll take one area more convenience. Present. All right, here present S and P. Here you will get am and is. All right, you will get a plural are. Okay, this is the method, simple method that you go. Present you will get S and plural you will get are. All right, here again divide to S and P. You will get this am or is will be was. You will consider into where. Simple method. Then past participle. What is meant by past participle? V5. This one will be been, adding en to the be. Adding en, very strong. All right. Then present participle be plus ing. Present participle is V3. That we studied V3. This is the structure by which we study verb be. Or in other way, Kikubaum calls verb be, this is be, it is a big family, or this is a mother having this much children. All right, so this is a verb be is a mother having so many children. All these children you have to keep under your custody. Then have, you will get a singular form, has. Then the past, you will get a had. Past participle had. Do, you will get a does. Past form did. Then you will get it done. Look here, how many boxes are coming? All these are boxes which are compulsory in the sentence, without which sentence may go wrong. So once you apply box, you should be very careful. Then once you come to mocks, all right, what is mocks? All right, mocks is simple. They have can for its past tense could. You will get a may, you will get a might, you will get a dire, you will died, you will get a what? Shall, you will get a will, like this. All these areas coming mocks. But there is a big difference between mocks and pox. That you keep in mind. What is meant by pox and mocks? Pox is very compulsory, whereas mocks is not compulsory in a sentence. Example, I am eating a mango. Example, all right, I can eat a mango. You'll take. This is called V is equal to VGP is equal to, all right, ox plus V3 coming. This is ox. Am ox compulsory. Look here, V is equal to VGB. This can is mox plus V1. Here what happens? This is considered to be mox. Mox. This mox can be, if you want, mox can be deleted. Then remaining will be, it will be only V1. Hope you catch all this. How difference between pox and mox? First thing, pox is compulsory in a VGP, whereas mox is not compulsory. If you write pox, you cannot avoid, you cannot delete pox from VGP. If you delete, you can, if you rub am, I eating mango will be wrong. Suppose you change, you delete can from this sentence, remaining part will be correct. Did you get me? So once if anybody asking you in future, what is the real difference between pox and mox, primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary? Primary auxiliary say compulsory component in the VGP. Whereas, if you want only, you put the modal auxiliary in a VGP. Otherwise, you delete it. Remaining part will be meaningful. But, careful. Never take a component of VGP, what like primary auxiliary. If you take it away, sentence will be nonsense. That is the difference that you keep in mind. So slowly we are searching a lost pen. And we'll take one more example, how to identify, or you copy down somewhere. We are searching, look here, we are searching a lost pen. Example, we can search a lost pen. Look here, you deliberately leave this can because it is a box. But you can never take this R, which is a box, related to the component of R searching is a VGP, which cannot be taken away from the sentence. If you take, sentence will be incorrect. You rub this, we search a lost pen is wrong. But you rub this, we search a pen, sentence will be correct. This is the main difference between POX and a MOX that Kuckerbaum refers on page number 39, 35 to 37. Chapter number 3 in University Grammar Book. Now we slowly enter to what all the methods by which these boxes are used. You write down simple methods, all right, which are very compulsory. All right, we'll take main verb is verb be. All right, you use, copy down this. Verb be is the main one. Which are the is, are, where, like. It is first use is changing to VCP to VICP. You studied VCP. Example, he is. Now it is VCP. He is. It is VICP. Verb of incomplete predication. Why? Predicate is incomplete. You use another object, a doctor. Then it became VCP. All right, verb of complete predication, verb, object, then you write predication. So first use is in order to use verb, in order to complete a predicate. Verb be is compulsory, that is first use. Then first use is okay, VCP will become VICP. Then second method, all right, second use, what is called use of be, all right, to make progressive. Progressive, what you studied? Progressive. You studied progressive continuous tense. Example, when we three used in a sentence, automatically POX will be coming here. Example, they playing, all right, playing on the ground. Look here, one POX missing because this is V3. Once we use V3, POX will be there, what is called R. Then they are playing on the second one. Then third one, immediate future. We can use immediate future. There is a very big dispute in modern grammar. This is enough. Present tense auxiliary use is enough to show the future tense. No need of telling the future. In modern grammar only two tenses, present and past. No future at all. Because future tense can be applied in the present tense. To make example, we are about to start. Look here. We are about to start. Not actually started. We are going to start. This R is used. Just like to show a future time. All right. All these are you have to keep in mind. Then next one is using for inversion. Already studied inversion. All right. What is inversion? To make a question. All right. Example, he is happy. Look here, already studied in the previous first chapter. You take one ox or primer of finite use, you put it in the front, you will get is she happy? You will get a question. Such a type of questions are called inversion type. He is a teacher, you can put it. Then sometimes verb be used for command in reference page number 35 to 37 university grammar. This be can be used for command. Look here, everywhere say be quiet. People say be quiet, be quiet. This be is used for command. So these are the four important uses that you have to keep in mind. What all things I told? POX can be considered to a VICP, then can be converted to VCP, then we can use progressive tense continuous, then we can use immediate future, then we can to convert inversion, then also we can use it for command. Then automatically after this means all the different children of B may be used for this way, right? This is the method. Automatically, what is the different use of have? Because have is another POX. First one is showing perfect tense. We use perfect tense, right? I have taken, all right, breakfast. This taken is V5, have is POX. So in order to show perfect tense, that you already studied what is meant by perfect tense, time and mood. Already studied in the unit number 1. So what is called perfect tense? He has come, had come, all these you had. Then to get something done, another use you can give. I refer only very important uses. Another one is very important. I had something done, all right, to get something done, all right. You can copy down that. I had my car washed. I had my car washed. Look here, had my car, something done. I have made something done. Then next one is obligation. What is meant by obligation? Obligation, duty, our duty. I have to water my plants. I have to water my plants every day. Plants. I have so many plants in my garden. I have to I have to water it every day. That is my obligation. So once you show your obligation, that time also you use have. Then inversion, same time, all these POX can be used for inversion. All right, inversion. You copy down inversion is making whenever POX coming in a statement can be converted to inversion. Automatically you will go to do. All right, because have, do, be are the POX system. I am trying to explain what is POX. Do is very important, can be used as main verb. Do is main verb, all right. Example, we like him. We like him. Example, you can put it, convert this to negative. That step already we taught in the previous chapter. Conversion, because no POX appearing here, we apply a do form, then you will use we do not like him. You get first you will get a positive, second you will get a negative. Then we do not like, this may be inverted. Don't we like him? Do we like him? You can convert this type. First you put insertion, then put inversion, you will get a question type. So for all these steps, for the continuous also we get doing. Such a type of uses that we have to. So insertion followed by inversion method is important for do as a verbal POX item. Then slowly we go to modal auxiliaries. That area somewhat lengthy one. We will continue the next class about. So again I discuss what is the primary auxiliary system, what is the modal auxiliary system. Primary auxiliary system main features, it is very compulsory. Modal auxiliary is not compulsory. Depending on the mood and the aspect that you prefer certain modal auxiliary and apply in your sentences. It has only past form. Will has would. Will is present, not future. Shall is present, not future. Shall has a past should. Will has would. All these are used for mood and aspect that you keep in mind. All these boxes are generally classified into do, have, be. Be has different children with them. So you make a thorough revision and catch me in the next class. Thank you.